Just bought a Cricut and want to get started with the software? I'm going to give you an entire Design Space tutorial from start to finish so you can make your first project right now. Hey everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com. You guys know that I love my Cricut machines for all sorts of crafting, and I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring this video today because I am going to share with you how to use their software, which is called Design Space. I'm going to do a tutorial from start to finish so that you can get making your first project right away. I'm going to show you how to use Cricut's images that are built right in to make something like this, where basically you just pop the image in, it's ready to go. This is a cute gym bag that I made for my daughter. And then I'm going to show you how to get more personal with Design Space, where you can make more personalized items like this tray that I made for our family. Let's get started. There are a few different types of Cricut cutting machines. There's the Explorer, the Joy, and the Maker, and Design Space works with all of these. However, in this video, I'm going to focus on making some projects with my Cricut Explorer Air 2. I think it's a great all-around machine, especially if you are looking into buying one. It's going to be your first machine. So once you've purchased your Cricut, you're going to want to go to design.cricut.com in your internet browser, and that's where you're going to be able to download Cricut Design Space desktop version. I'm going to download it here for Windows because that is my computer program. Now, when you have it downloaded and installed on your computer, this is what it looks like. It has a really easy to use interface. The top has some announcements. Down in the bottom has all sorts of ready to cut projects that Cricut already has. And then in the middle is where you're going to have your own projects. So let's start a new project. I'm just going to insert an image into this project, so you can just click that images icon on the left side. I'm going to search for a have courage and be kind graphic because my daughter loves this phrase. Now, if you want to get all of these images for free whenever you want, you can subscribe to what's called Cricut Access, and that is a monthly fee. You can get all the images. Otherwise, there are some images that are free from Cricut, or there's some that you only have to pay a couple dollars for. So that's completely up to you. I do have Cricut Access, so I'm able to install all of these images. Once you have your image inserted, you can resize it according to whatever you want to put this graphic on. And then you can decide if it's going to be a cut line, if it's going to be a score line, if it's going to be a writing line. Now, I could just leave this like this, but I wanted to add a little bit more to this design to make it a little more customized. So I inserted this really nice heart image, and you can not only resize these with this little button on the bottom right-hand side, but you can also use this rotate button on the top right-hand side of each image and move things around exactly where you want them. Now, you could make this a two-color design, so I'm just changing this heart to pink, and as you can see, when you send it to your iron-on mats, you can see that we have the lettering on one piece of vinyl and the pink heart on the other. So that is one option, and when you're doing iron-on, you also have to click that little mirror button, and I'm going to show you how that works later. But I want to make this all one black piece of iron-on material. So I'm going to select all of it and then select what's called the attach button in the bottom right-hand side. And then as you can see, my whole entire image is on one piece of iron-on material. So I sent it to my mat. I'm going to mirror it just like this. So it's basically mirrored, flipped over, and then I'm going to click this continue button. You're going to want to connect your Cricut either manually with a cord, or you can connect it by Bluetooth, which is what I love to do because it's so easy. So you just go into your computer settings to do this. You can see I have a couple of my machines here. Now we've clicked on Make It in our design, and I love Design Space because it basically tells you exactly what to do step by step. So it's telling you to set your material. So with the Cricut Explorer Air 2, you take the wheel and you move it to the material you want. So now it says iron on, which is what I set it to on the wheel. It also tells me to make sure that my material is shiny side down on my Cricut mat. So basically it's step by step, really easy, telling you exactly what to do. So I'm grabbing this Cricut iron-on material, following the directions, putting it shiny side down on my Cricut mat just like this. And you can buy this Cricut mat on the Cricut website. I'm going to leave every single thing that I'm using down in the description box below if you're curious to see what materials that I am using here. Design Space will also tell you exactly what tool you need to insert in your cutting machine as well. So I'm using the fine point blade, and I'm just looking right at Design Space as it's telling me, loading it in the proper clamp, and then we're ready to go. So once the Cricut sees that you have all of these things ready, it's going to tell you to load up your material, and then it's going to tell you to hit that Cricut button on the machine. So really straightforward. I feel like if you're a beginner and you haven't ever touched a Cricut, you should be able to follow along with the directions on the screen and have a project ready to go pretty much right away. It's going to show you on Design Space how far along in the cut you are, and you can also watch it cutting right on your machine. So once everything is finished, it'll say 100% done, tell you to unload. You hit the unload button on your machine, and then you're ready to transfer your design onto your material. What I like to do is I like to cut off any excess material because I could use those for small little projects later. I have some Christmas ideas, personalized ones that I think would be really cute and would use small pieces of vinyl. So definitely don't waste any little scraps because you might want to use them for later. And then you do what's called weeding the design, which basically means you're taking off any of the excess material. I mostly use my fingers to do this, but Cricut does have some little tools once you get into the finer spots or you're doing a smaller design. This one's pretty big, so it's pretty easy to weed out all of the interiors of the letters and all of that stuff. All right, now you have your design all finished, and now you can see when I flip it right side up, you can see why I mirrored it in Cricut Design Space. So I'm taking this tote bag. This one came with the Cricut Easy Press, which is this iron-like machine from Cricut. You don't have to use the Easy Press for this. You could use a regular iron as well. I'm heating up my fabric with the iron, and then I'm taking my Easy Press and basically following the directions on the Cricut website. It's going to tell you exactly how hot and how long you put the Easy Press down onto your material to make sure it adheres really well to the specific material that you're using. In this case, this tote bag is 100% cotton. And then once you have ironed everything on the right time, you can gently peel off that liner. And here is how my really simple tote bag turned out for my daughter. I gave it to her for the first day of school, and she absolutely loved it. So easy and fun. Now let me show you how to do a more customized project with Cricut. Also really simple. So what I'm doing is I want to do a customized tray for our family and put a nice little family sticker on it. Also make sure to save all of your projects in your Cricut Design Space account, and you can make them public or private, it's up to you. So I just made a big rectangle the size of the tray, so I kind of knew the size that I was working with, and then I put our name, the Dennis family, and I just moved that over the size of the tray. I'm going to make this white for now just so that I can see it. So to do that, I just use the text tool on the left-hand side of Design Space, and now you can go up into fonts and change it to any sort of font you want. Cricut Design Space comes with a ton of fonts. There are some that are free, there are some that you pay for, or you can get access to hundreds of different fonts with Cricut Access. That's that monthly fee that you can pay. And if you're going to be using your Cricut a lot, I think that's definitely worthwhile. So I'm choosing the script font. Now you can leave it like this if you want, or if you want to get a little pickier and a little more customized, you can go into this advanced menu on the top and you can individualize the letters just like this. And then once the letters are by themselves, you can move them closer together, further apart, wherever you want them to make the script font that you're using or whatever font look a little more natural. So since this one was a script, I decided that I wanted to individualize all the letters and move them closer together to make my design look a little more professional. And you can make this as easy or as hard as you want. It's really fun to customize it to your liking. Now I want to take this whole Dennis family image and make it all one. So I'm going to attach all of the letters together so it prints just like this. And then I actually decided to change the established 2006 font to this one. And again, you can use those tools to shrink it, to rotate it, whatever you want. So there's tons of different font options you can use for customized things. And again, you can even customize the fonts themselves. Now I'm just using the tool on the left-hand side called Shapes. I'm making a rectangle and then I'm going to pull that nice and long to make a line. So this is basically the general design that I want. However, I want this to print all as one. I don't want the Dennis family and the line and the 2006 to be separate. So again, I'm selecting all of these and clicking that attach button in the bottom right-hand side. So when I go to make this, you can see how it's going to look on the vinyl. Looks good, I'm ready to go. I'm connected to my Cricut Explore Air. And I'm going to make sure the wheel is on the proper material. In this case, I'm going to be using some vinyl. And then it says right on Design Space, it's set to vinyl. It tells me exactly what tool to use. I have the proper tool loaded. I'm using Cricut Permanent Vinyl, and that's because I want this to be on the tray and I want it to be really easy to wash. I like this vinyl because it doesn't usually come off in the wash. So for trays and things, it's perfect. Then I'm going to load it up into my Cricut Explore Air 2, press the load button, and Design Space is going to tell me when everything is loaded and ready to go. And then I'm going to hit that little Cricut button on my machine. Same thing as the last one, it's going to show me the progress of my cut on Design Space, and I'm going to be able to watch everything cut on my Cricut Explore Air 2. Once that's done, I hit the unload button and I am ready to weed everything out and put this design on my tray. Again, I'm cutting off the excess to use for later and I'm taking off all of the excess vinyl. You can use your hands or Cricut's tools, whatever works best for you. With vinyl, you usually want to use what's called transfer tape. So it's this really strong tape that Cricut makes. You can cut a piece off and smooth that right onto the decal that you've made. And then you can just take the backing of the original vinyl off. And what this does is it makes your design go perfectly onto whatever material you are customizing so that the letters and the lines and everything are in the perfect spot. So you put it on, smooth it out with Cricut's tool, and then you just remove that transfer tape for the perfectly placed design. And here is how this simple personalized tray turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any more questions about Design Space. I would love to answer them. I'm also going to put all of my other Cricut tutorials and projects down in that description box below. Make sure to check them all out. This is a beginner tutorial, but you can do so much more with your Cricut machine even after this. Thanks again to Cricut for sponsoring this video, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas on a budget. I'm going to leave some more videos that I hope you will love and watch next right up here.